Is your child ready to read? Does he or she know letters and sounds? That's what it takes to get started. Today I want to talk to you about how we put those letters and sounds into action so that your child can start reading words, whether they're 2 years old, 3 years old, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever the age. If your child knows the letters and sounds, that's the first step. If your child doesn't know letters and sounds yet, turn this off, go learn letters and sounds. All right, your child really needs to know at least most of the letters and sounds to get started. Otherwise, this is going to be a very frustrating process for your child. So get most of those letters and sounds down, and when you think you've got them, rewatch this video and I'll show you what to do with them. So here we go. Let's say your child knows letters and sounds, but they're just not blending yet. Why aren't they blending yet? Usually it has to do with either the blending technique or they just don't have the phonemic awareness yet, which is like they just can't hear how to stick those sounds together to make a word. Or their retrieval is just so slow still to pull up that sound for each letter that they forget it before they get to the end. So those are the things you kind of want to work on. One, make sure they know their letters and sounds really, really well. So as soon as they see that J, they can say J. As soon as they see that O, they can say aw. And as soon as they see that B, they can say B for the ba-ba-ba-bat or the ba-ba-ba-back sticking straight up there. So retrieval and knowing those letters and sounds, really, really important. The other thing is blending technique and phonemic awareness. We have to have those as well, okay? So when I say blending technique, what I get a lot of times with kids who are struggling is they're making this sound, and this sound, but they're keeping them far apart. There's too much space between each sound. So if they go J, A, B, it really doesn't sound like a word. J, A, B. Doesn't sound like a word. If they learn to drag this vowel out a little bit longer and squish it or glue it onto that B, I always tell them glue it onto that B, squish them together. Don't stop making this sound until you're making that sound. So we don't want it to be J, A, B. See how I stopped? A, pause, B. We do not want that. We want to go J, Job. Do you hear how much more it sounds like the word? Job. This is a huge factor in helping kids learn to read their first words. They need a good blending technique. Now, with that said, if they're just starting right now and they hear job, they may say ob because they hear the ob, because that's glued together. They don't hear the j, they don't know how to combine that yet. Okay, that's normal for beginning readers, and don't worry, go, oh, good job, you said ob. Now we just have to put the j on it. So then you say job, job, job. Okay, you have to help them get the listening technique or the phonemic awareness. So if you have a dyslexic learner or somebody who's just really struggling to hear the word, you have to train this a little bit. So you can say, oh yeah, I am going to give you a job today, a job. And you might say, can you go get me a cup? You know, and just help them start hearing it. You can play a game where you're just talking in that funny way. Can you sit? You know, would you look at the sun, you know, or would you like to juggle, you know, some juggle? But you start pulling apart sounds and helping them hear what you're saying. And it's a listening they just have to learn. Oh, look at the cat. Where's the cat? Cat. Or where's the dog? Or I just heard the dog bark, right? Like you want them to start hearing, oh, dog is dog. Like, oh, cat. You know, sun. That's what they have to gain that listening. That's like one of the biggest hurdles. So First hurdle is teaching your kids letters and sounds. Second hurdle is helping them put those letters and sounds together and actually hear what they're saying. Once they gain that listening, there's one more hurdle you have to get over, and that's learning to sound out words with beginning blends and ending blends. Now, once you've done that, it's pretty smooth sailing for the most part. It doesn't change a whole lot after that. The only thing is you kids have to learn the tricks. And I talk about those in a lot of videos, but those are letters and sounds that work together to make new sounds. So like S and the H don't say sa-ha, they say shh. Or C and the H don't say ka-ha, they say ch, 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 ch. So I go over all of those in the Black Belt Reading Program. If you need help teaching those, if you want to sign up for that and have me teaching through videos like this, how to do that, and your child can watch them, and then you have packets to go through that you can help teach your child everything they need to know. Look that up on kidscanreadandwrite.com, or Kids Can Online Academy is the main place I have it right now. That might change because I'm trying to combine everything, but for now, that's the way it is. If you can't find it, just leave a comment below. I'll help you find it. But let's get back to reading our first word. So remember, your child must know the letter sounds. Your child needs to have a good blending technique, and they need to have the listening. If they don't have the listening yet, you can practice while you read words. So we're going to go job, job. Do you know what a job is? Do you know what a job is? And see if they can tell you. Make sure you're asking them what each word means after you read them, because vocabulary is very important. And if your kids are saying the words and you think, oh, they know what that is, but you never ask, you don't really know if they do or not. So ask them, what does that mean? Can you use it in a sentence? Make sure they know what it means. Make sure they can use it in a sentence, because some kids, it sounds like they know it, it sounds right, but they are thinking something else in their heads or have no idea what it means. So ask. All right, so if you're reading this one, you want to make your s and then drag your I. And I always tell kids this is an ice cream falling off, so we go I because it's icky when it splats on the ground. So if they're having trouble remembering their I sound, tell them about the ice cream cone and then read the word. It. See how I go right into that. It. It. And if you say sa, that's okay too. Sa, it. I do that a lot. A lot of people say, oh, don't put the on there. It really doesn't matter as long as you're consistent and your child gets the listening. They know it's not a U if they're used to saying sa, it, and spelling it s, it. You know, it works. But at the end, it needs to be tight. No uhs at the end. Some kids put a big t at the end. No, you're gluing this onto this. This sound needs to be quick. It, sit. Okay, same thing here. Find your vowel. Make sure your kids know that the vowels are A, E, I don't know why that got so long, I, O, and U. Don't worry about Y. That's not really important here. A, E, I, O, and U. Those are the ones we're going to drag out. And so your child needs to know them and be able to use them. So A, E, I, O, U. All right. So let's see. So if we do that, remember we're going to drag this or glue it right onto this. We'll make this sound really quickly. M, app. Or you can go app, app. But takes a lot of effort for me. It makes me hold my breath. I don't like it. So I always put the at the end of my first letter. Whichever way you want to do is fine. Like I said, as long as you're consistent, your child doesn't care. So you can go app, map, or you can go app, app. But I can't hear it as well when I swallow it up. I can't hear it. I have auditory processing issues, and some of your kids will too. And they might like to hear it louder. App, map. Makes me feel better when I say it. Do it how you want at home. If it's not working, try it the other way. See what works best for you. All right, how about this one? Find the vowel. That's Granny. Granny says, eh, eh. So we're going to say eh when we see it. So we go, ba. Look, the ba back is first. When I come and bump into this word, you see how the ba back is first? That's how I know it's a B. And if your child's having a lot of trouble knowing B's from D's, make them kind of track their fingers. See, do they bump into the ba back? That's the sound they should make if they do. Do they bump into the da daddy's face first? They should say duh for daddy if they bump into his face first. So we have the ba back. See, it's like a person and they're sitting. So that's the ba back. You can put arms, right? And they're like crossing their legs or whatever, but that's their ba back. So we have ed. See how I glued that right on? I'm just going to take some of this away so it's not looking like other things, but you get the idea. So ed. Do you hear it? Bed. Remember, if they say ed, say, oh, good job, you got this part, ed. Now we just need to put the but on it. Remember to praise effort. It's not about if they get it right or not. It's about how hard they're trying. And you want to always praise effort. So, ed, bed. They say ed again. Great job. You got this part. You got the ed. Show them what they got. Now we just need to put that but on. Ready? Ed. And then you might have to help them. Like I always point back to the beginning when I say, what's the word? So they look back and get this beginning sound, b, and then I'll go through to the end. Ed, bed. And if you need to, you can put these two together first, be, and then put that, bed. But my favorite way to blend is that nice sharp sound at the beginning and then glue the vowel onto the ending. It helps a lot later as the words get bigger to go through faster and faster. So if you have to in the very beginning, say bed and then the bed to get them the idea, that's okay. But try to get them to the point where they can just go fun. That's your ideal. You want it to be quick. Fun. If they're having trouble with the U sound, a lot of kids want to say yeah for you. They get confused because when you say you, hear how it sounds like yeah. So remember to tell them, oh, he's the one who's getting punched in the stomach. See how my fist fits in there? And he goes, oh, why'd you punch me? So we have fun, okay? So again, your kids must know letters and sounds. They have to be able to pull them up quickly. They also have to have that good blending technique. I've found with most kids, whether they're dyslexic or not, if you teach them to glue that vowel onto the next sound, that helps them so much, helps them speed up as soon as they get good with their sounds. The other thing, let's see, good blending technique. They have to know their letters and sounds. Oh, they have to have the phonemic awareness. And that's probably the number one thing that keeps kids from reading words in the beginning is they just can't hear it. They hear job, they hear ob. And you have to go, oh, very good. You got the ob. Now let's put the j on, job. And you might have to do that job, right, to help them get it all together. But in the beginning, a lot of kids, especially dyslexic kids or kids with other auditory processing, whatever disorders, they might not hear it. It's really hard. That's one of the hardest parts of learning with dyslexia is in the beginning, just being able to hear what you're saying and pick up on this new kind of language because it's different. So just keep doing it. Don't give up. Don't go, it took, 2 weeks. They still don't have it. This won't work. No. Some kids take a while. I would give it 2 weeks to a month to gain that phonemic awareness, to gain that listening ability, to put those sounds together. And usually you can do it in a week, but some kids need extra. don't give up. The road to reading is the same for all kids, whether severely dyslexic, mildly dyslexic, moderately dyslexic, somewhere, kind of toward the whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. Even if they're not dyslexic, it's the same. Kids have to learn how to follow the code, the letters in order, making the right sounds. The first thing, they have to know the regular sounds of the alphabet. After that, we're going to teach beginning blends, ending blends, get into the tricks, those letters that work together to make different sounds. And it really doesn't get any harder than that. So master this as long as it takes. Make sure you get this down. Your child should be able to look at the sounds and drag that vowel into the next sound, put that together. When you've got that, it's time to learn how to read with beginning and ending blends. If you need help, guys, look me up. Find my Black Belt reading program. I will teach the kids straight on like this. Today I'm teaching the parents, but in Black Belt reading, I teach the kids. And you can watch the videos with your kids so you'll know how to help. Go through the packets and voila, you will watch your child become a Black Belt reader and writer right in front of your very own eyes in the comfort of your own home. So, good luck with this. Make sure they know letters and sounds. Make sure they have a good blending technique, and make sure they get that phonemic awareness down. And let me know how long it takes for your child to get this technique down and read 3-letter words without any problems at all. Good luck, guys. Let me know how it goes.